Hello, welcome. So today I wanted to make another video how I stopped playing video games, which massively improved my life, and how exercising pretty much cured a lot of my depression I used to have. So I wanted to start by saying that 2 to 3 years ago, I was a very anxious and depressive boy. And I played a lot of video games. And I used to be so anxious and so depressed. I would sleep so late in the night. Like I would have to wake up at 5 a.m. and I would sleep at like 1 or 2, or sometimes I wouldn't sleep at all. I would literally be so sleep deprived that when because my parents used to wake me up to school. I used to be so sleep deprived that when I didn't sleep at all, I would pretend like I was sleeping, and I would actually fall asleep and I'd fall asleep like in 1 minute to wake up in like 15, and it felt horrible. It feels horrible. It felt horrible waking up like that. And I wanted to talk about, the effect of video games on men, for example, because I recently saw a video that said that people who play video games are pretty much dissatisfied with their lives. And I want to admit that I was very dissatisfied with my life, and I used to play so much video games. And I realized, video games are a distraction, honestly, because it's not very productive, and I'll talk about productivity in a sec. It didn't get me anywhere, first of all. It didn't get me anywhere, because, in real life, of course, it didn't get me anywhere. I used to play all day long, literally. I would literally try to minimize the time it would take me. I would literally eat right here while I played video games. And I would barely even take out my dog, my wiener dog, because of how addicted I was. How much I played video games. I would literally play all day. And I would sometimes not even sleep. Despite playing 14 hours straight, I would do an all-nighter. It was horrible, man. It was very horrible. And I used to do an all-nighter. I was very dedicated to games. That sounds weird, because, when we talk about dedication, it's usually about something positive. But yeah, I was very dedicated to games. And, now that I'm talking about this, I imagine myself, how would my life be different if instead of playing all day long, I would at least, work out for, half the amount of hours, for, 6 hours or 5. I think my life would be, way better. Although I'm currently working out and I stopped playing video games. But I wondered, what would I achieve if I dedicated so many hours into getting something like that? Getting into, accomplishing, getting hours towards a goal that I want, that's meaningful for me. And that's actually what I want to get at. I want to get to the point where I'm, working out, 4 hours a day. Because I really enjoy training. I really enjoy training. And I feel like training is, the best antidepressant, anti-anxiety, as well as meditation. And I sleep so well when I work out, actually. So that's a plus. Of course, now, compared to myself 3 years ago, I work out way more than what I used to work out. And I feel way better. Because my brain used to be, so hyper-stimulated by everything, by, social media, by, video games, by, internet, discourse, all that stuff. And I would get to the point where my brain would literally, fry. I don't know if anybody has felt that, of course, but I would literally get to the point where my head would feel like it was fried, hyper-stimulated, too much, way too much. And now that I realize that, I feel like I need to slow down, of course. I consume way less of everything now. Like way less social media. I don't play video games. I don't watch YouTube. I barely watch. I only go on YouTube when I'm gonna look for something. You know, when I'm like thinking about, hey, how can I get this, or how can I achieve this, or you know, if I want to learn something, I go on YouTube to look for something. I literally have a Chrome extension where it literally blocks all the video. I can't see anything on the homepage, and I have like 7 subscribers. Like I'm subscribed to Orange too. And like social media, like Instagram, I unfollowed everybody I didn't actually care about or loved, and that made it so my feed is way less, so I get faster to the bottom as well. And now I think I start to understand the word productive, because let me explain it in my words. When you play a video game and you defeat a boss, or you get this like gear or equipment or whatever, and you get to this point A to point B, it's like that's it. You got it. Like you don't get anything in real life. In comparison, where if I squat like 120 kilos, like man, I have the equipment. You know, I've upgraded my legs. You know, and I get to feel what it's like to have like legs that can like squat 120 kilos. So that's like productive in the real world. Or like read a book, like I gained knowledge, I gained strength, or I gained, you know, I became better at my art, for example. And I also think that video games used to hijack my brain, because since video games give you such like a dopamine rush to your head, it like hijacks your brain. So when you're not playing video games, you're thinking about video games, you obsess about it, and basically, you know, that's all that brain power towards something that's like counterproductive. You're not really achieving anything. Like versus, you know, obsessing about your diet or like your physique. Like you're thinking about your physique, you're thinking about working out, and there's, you know, it's actually something more productive because you're gonna get something out of it, like for in the real world, for example. And you know, that hijacking, of course, you can't focus as well. And I've felt so great that you know, I used to feel so great about playing video games. You know, I used to take out my dog, or like still do, but in comparison to like before, when I used to play video games, like it was really difficult for me to like actually take out my dog. And then when I would take out my dog, I would like rush, like take him off for like only for like 15 minutes, and then like come back as fast as possible to sit down here and play video games, because that's how bad it used to get. And I actually used the video games for like a distraction in my life. Like that's where the satisfied part comes in. Video games used to be like a distraction from the real world for me. Because, you know, in real life, when I was, you know, younger, you know, I used to, like, hate my life. Like, you know, I used to think, like, man, if living a life means I have to, like, study until, like, I'm 20, then work until I'm, like, dead for somebody else, you know, I'd rather not live. You know, I would rather die. And, like, thoughts like that came into my head, and basically video games was, like, an outlet for me. And then recently I realized, you know, life doesn't have to be that way. You can be like an entrepreneur, or you can do other things besides going to university and like doing something you don't love just for like higher income, stuff like that. So, you know, I've actually started working out more. You know, I used to sleep terribly. My diet used to be like horrible, but now I could say that everything is way better than what it used to be, man. Way better. And I actually aspire to work out more, which I'm gonna do soon. And I feel like I'm a very different person without video games, honestly. Like I'm a very different person, because a person who used to play video games used to be like so hyper stimulated with everything, with YouTube, with internet, like social media, for like mindlessly scrolling on feeds on Facebook. You know, it used to be so bad that I would literally I would literally get on like Facebook every like 10 minutes to see if I got a new message from somebody. That's how horrible it was, man. That was horrible. I was very addicted to social media, especially. I was very addicted to like waiting for a notification to come in. That's how like I was always like expecting like a message notification. I would just get on the like WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram for like every 10 minutes until like expecting a message like every 10 minutes, and that would be so distracting, man. But I can say I have improved quite a bit, man. I meditate. Meditation has helped me. Meditation, exercise, and of course diet and sleep, of course. They have all helped me quite a bit. I'm like way less anxious, and I used to be like very impatient, anxious, and meditation has helped me like just like deal with stuff. Like right now, I got run over by the tramway, and my bike took a very bad hit. Like I'm good. I'm very like I nothing happened to me, but tramway I got run over, and and since I enjoy so much working, especially since it's on my bike and I'm a delivery boy, I aspire to work to like pedal my bike, like burn some calories and stuff like that. But now I'm like pretty much sedentary, and I'm very calm right now. Very calm, very patient. Some things, I wasn't expecting that. How can you expect that? And I'm gaining a lot of patience by meditating. And of course, my energy levels have been stable because of my diet. You know, and of course, I didn't know how important nutrition was for your energy levels, for your mood, for your well-being. And nutrition does a lot. Does a lot for like all that stuff, especially exercise, especially like vegetables and fruit. Having like stable energy levels, not being in mood swings, man. I used to eat so horrible. And well, going back to the topic about I'm patient right now. I'm just calm, really, very calm. I'm just taking it easy. Of course, I'm gonna work a lot as soon as I get my bike back. But meanwhile, I'm just gonna keep practicing and keep reading, and keep working out. So yeah, I just wanted to share that experience. And goodbye, guys.